Okay, now we should have sound. Will you guys let me know if you have sound? We should have sound. Um, they did a Microsoft update, and every time they do a Microsoft update, my sound stops working. Let me boost up the volume. Let me add some decibels to it. Okay, hello. Let me try again. Let's see if I'm getting sound. Link on page. Okay, there was no chat earlier. All right, no sound. There's now a link. Okay, so can you guys hear me? Yes, okay, sound. Groovy. Let me start over really fast. One, everybody's already given up on the video. There's nobody gonna ever watch this video. One, go to Jolly Roger Ukulele, get the songs, get the daily schedule. Two, sometimes we have technical difficulties. Gotten better at fixing it on the fly. And then three, if it's what are you gonna do? We're going to play some ukulele. Whoever ends up here, some people are busy watching last week's video. And let's see, Vic has been super helpful for me today. She's like, link is wrong, no sound. All right, so Vic, I think we are officially in business. All right, so shoot. Vic, Linda, Darwin, okay, all right, everybody's in. All right, so there's only a couple of us here. Everybody else is wandering around going, why are we watching last week's video? Maybe they'll make it back, maybe they won't. We will miss them if they don't make it back. Let's just play some music today, shall we? First off, we're in book one, and I'd like to just go through, hit Frere Jacques one last time for the week, and then next week we move on. And so next week, I'll give you a hint about what we'll be dealing with. Next week, we're going to be digging into a technique, exercise where we start to build your bar chord. You've already had to deal with one bar chord in the E chord, and then we'll start doing scales, and we're also then going to do a strumming assignment in the key of C. So all of the stuff you've done this week, we will just build on that next week. Every single thing that you've already done, we're just going to turn it into a more complex idea next week. And then the following week, we begin chord melody play. So you want to be feeling good and solid about everything that we've done so far to make sure that the following week you're ready. And really, this stuff is all scaffolded up. There's not anything there that's going to surprise you at this point. Once you feel solid about Frere Jacques, and once we've done a little bit of strumming out of this, pretty much it's all more of the same. It gets harder, gets more interesting, gets more beautiful. You get better, I get better, everybody's happy. All right. Okay. All right, let me show you my tuning. GCEA, George, Clooney, Eats, Apples. Okay, so that's what you should be looking at. Linda says, it's pouring rain, so that's what I'm used to. Makes it easier to stay indoors. Yeah, after quite a summer, Linda, it's nice that you're getting back to normal, which is miserable weather. I've been in Vancouver several times, and it's always been perfect, and so I've never understood why anybody would live anywhere except Vancouver. But apparently it rains a little there. Frere Jacques. Okay, if you were on ukulele, I want you to do an A chord. Index finger here, middle finger here. I want you to pluck 4 beats in every measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, no matter what's going on in the melody. Okay, I'm going to do the melody. You're going to do the chords. Baritone players, you're playing an A chord. Yours is, everybody's in the 2nd fret, 4, 3, 2. And then your first string is open. Okay, 1, 2, ready, play. Just that simple, right? And make sure when you're plucking 4 beats, when you get to measure 5 and it goes da 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 dun dun, that you don't speed up your plucking. You stay with 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're on chords, you're really the drummer as well as the chord person, and so you want to make sure your strumming or your plucking or whatever you're choosing to do with your right hand stays very, very predictable. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll help anybody else that you're playing with. It will help them out a lot. Ukulele, the way it's traditionally played, is a rhythm instrument. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fact that it makes chords is delightful, right? So that adds a complexity to the percussion that is wonderful. And then we, of course, around here decided, hey, let's play some melody with it too. And so that's the kind of the third way of playing ukulele. Let's have you guys play the melody and I'll play the chords. Okay? From the top. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string on first string, second string, first string, and there we go. So that's the 2 big takeaways from the last week, well, really last 2 weeks. Those 2 ways of playing ukulele are everything. If you can play chords and you can play melody, we're going to be in real great shape. Now, the other way we learned to play was through accompaniment, and so now you grab the baritone version. You don't really need to if you're on ukulele, because you're just going to make an E chord. You're going to put a bar up here and down on 4, and you're going to put your pinky up on 7 of the first string, and it may sound like this, right? And that's okay. You want to squish it a little bit tighter, right? So that you can get some sound out of ideally all 4 strings. You can take your middle finger and push down on the bar, right? Squish it down a little bit. In the beginning, that's perfectly fine. Frankly, for the rest of your life, that's going to be perfectly fine. Sometimes I'll wrap my fingers around and stick it kind of in the middle. Sometimes I'll lay it flat on top of there. Now, ultimately, you're going to be using all of your fingers for other chord shapes, but at least when you have a chord like this, and if your bar's not 100% up to speed yet, just use your middle finger and squish it down and get a little cleaner sound. That's your chord, okay? If you're on ukulele, 1, 2, 3, 4. Baritone players, I want you to play chords first and then melody. Okay, so baritones, if you'll grab your E chord looks like their A chord. Okay, I will play melody. Everybody will play chords. 1, 2, ready, play. To the top. Second ending. Just really pretty. Okay, now it's your turn. Okay, if you're on baritone, you're going to play the melody. Otherwise, if you're on ukulele, you're going to play this, stay on chords. You play this one, and I'll play this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. One more time. 0, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. kind of messed you up on the timing there, so I did some of them slower and some of them faster. But what do you know, right? That's for RAWK. If you are understanding that that top line of the tablature is your bottom string on your ukulele, and if you're understanding that those numbers on there tell you which fret to hold down, you're in great shape. Okay, two main chord shapes we learned this shape. This is E on baritone and A on ukulele. And then baritone players, you learn this shape, which is 2, 3, and 4. Strings 2, 3, and 4. Everybody in the second fret. Okay, and that's an A chord on baritone. And ukulele players, you learned your first bar chord. Okay, and I like that. Most ukulele players, they learn B, they get taught B flat and then they quit. So most ukulele players don't get very far with bar chords, and luckily you are not that group, right? You're going to be doing lots of bar chords. It's going to be part of what you do. You're not going to spend a ton of time worrying about it. It's just something you do, and you're going to hit a lot of bum ones, right? And yeah, whatever, that's just the way you're playing them on that moment. Michelle made it in. Cloudy up in Rockaway Beach. It's getting to be the end of summer, Michelle? Grab your books. All right, we'll do one as a warm-up, and then you know where we're headed, right? So let's actually, as a warm-up, let's do, on the front page, let's do your chords, okay? So I'm going to be using a baritone today just so we sound different, okay? Most of you have ukuleles. I'm going to grab a baritone, and we'll do this. And if you're on ukulele, don't look at my hands, right? Pay attention to your chord shapes here. Let's just warm up. Let's do the chord shapes in front a little bit. A chord, then F sharp minor, then D chord, then E7. Okay? From the top, 4 beats of each. 1, 2, ready, play. A, 2, 3, 4. I'm in the wrong key. Let me use the baritone chords. 1, 2, ready, play. A, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, and E7, 2. One more time around, at least one more time. A, bum, bum, ba-da-da, F sharp minor, dun, dun, ba-da-da, bum, 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 ba-da-ya, bum, bum. One more time. Ba, 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 ba-da-da, ba, 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 ba-da-da, bum, 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 ba-da-da, bum, bum. One more time around. A, sharp minor, and D, and E. Now finish it up on A. Okay. Always a little bit slower, a little bit more drama. Finish up your A chord. All right, we now know those 4 chords. Those are a great warm-up, I think. I want to go. Let's do a two chord warm up. If there's anything out of here in particular you'd like to play, let me know. Let's grab a 2/4, and let's do "I'm a Little Teapot" over on page 8. Page 8. It's nice because there's a B and a teapot on the same page. Very helpful. Aren't I lovely? Okay, A chord. Hey, Robin. Am I late? I don't know. That's an interesting thought. Am I late? You always wonder, right? You always wonder, like, am I in the right timeline or am I not? We have one kid in my music theory lab at school. He's quite clearly in a different timeline. He's showing no signs of being ready to do anything. He's living in an alternate universe. And then I have another girl. She's in the actual music theory class, and she is always late or always leaving early and always going to the bathroom in the middle of the class. So she's also on another timeline. But just because you're on another timeline doesn't necessarily mean you're late. I'm a Little Teapot. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a little 7. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. Here's why you need the color version of this. I gotta print this out in color. I says we're gonna do a 2-chord song, and then I grabbed "I'm a Little Teapot," which is a 3-chord song, and you knew that because it's got a blue headline. I thought it had a green headline. Let's do it one more time. This time, instead of all plucks, let's do thumb strum. 1, 2, and remember, thumb strum you probably want to do where the body and your neck come together. 1, 2, ready, play. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. Okay, now last way to do it. Thumb, index, middle. Don't use your top string. Ignore that top string. Thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. Put your chord on. A chord. 1, 2, ready, play. I'm a little teapot, change short and stout. Back. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. Okay. What you noticed was even at that speed, often you would hit 2 notes. Hear me short and then you've already got to be back to your A chord, stout. I usually go back to my thumb and just start the process over, but you could go ahead and play the next 2 notes, middle and index. Doesn't really matter. Find a way that sounds prettiest to you. And the other way to solve that is to play double time. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. 1, 2, ready, play. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. And so what I find is that if I'm sitting around the house, or at least not so much these days, but when I was first figuring out that, hey, this is kind of a cool instrument, I would sit on the couch while we're watching TV. I'd put all my fingers, just gently lay them over the top of your strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how fast you can go. So that's the 4 pattern. Then do a 4 pattern, just thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, and use all 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle. Yeah, just work on getting where you can do that all the way going down and easily. Turn it into a 6-beat pattern. I'm sorry, before you do that, do ring, middle, index, thumb. Ring, middle, index, thumb. Ring, middle, index, thumb. I'm not near as fast doing that way. Okay, and the reason you cover up the sound, you don't need any sounds coming out, is you'll drive people crazy if you are sitting there watching TV with them, and if you're just going real quiet and it's just always the same thing, it's very peaceful. And do it the other way. Okay? And then do your 6 patterns: thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then do it backwards. ring, middle, index, thumb, index, middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that's going to help you get your finger independence that you're looking for. All right, for our big finale today, we're going to play. Oh, you're not late, Laurel. We're going to go to page 12. Page 12. All right, so on page 12, on top of spaghetti, this is a song of hope. When the song starts off, you think, oh gosh, this is not going to go very well. This person is having spaghetti. Somebody sneezes, and then the meatball rolls off the table, onto the floor, out the door, and down the street. And ends up under a bush. Okay. Now my poor meatball is nothing but mush. So the first three verses here, things are going very poorly. But something pretty surprising happens in verse 4. Rains came and soaked it as wet as can be, and the early next summer it grew into a tree. Okay, so that's where the hopefulness begins. Yeah, you lost your meatball, but you got a tree out of it. Not only that, but verse 5, it's a tree that's covered with meatballs and sauce, right? So that's a good tree. That's a great tree. So really a very hopeful, very positive result to what appears at first to be a negative. This is Stoicism at its finest. So Stoics are we don't judge, right? We accept things as they are. And so the fact that the spaghetti there was a sneeze, there was a sneeze. The fact that the meatball rolled off your plate and out the door, it all went. That's what happened. We don't judge the goodness or badness of that. And then in the summer, it turns into a moss tree. And again, we don't want to judge it. It seems very good. But we don't want to judge it. We haven't tasted the meatballs and sauce yet, so we don't know if it's any good. Here's where the problem with the song is. Verse 6, if you eat spaghetti all covered in cheese, hang on to your meatballs and don't ever sneeze. Well, none of that is true. If you eat spaghetti covered with cheese, maybe you don't want to hang on to your meatballs. Maybe you want it to roll down the street and turn into a meatball tree, a spaghetti tree. Think about that. And don't ever sneeze. Well, maybe you should be sneezing in order to make this happen. So I think at the end it gets very judgmental about the results here. We are just talking about that generally we think trees are good, and generally we think spaghetti is good. And if we can combine those two, that's even better. Here we go. 4 beats. And I'm sorry, 3 beat counts. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But we've got it coming on a little early on, so that top is on the first beat. Okay, so I will come in just a little bit early. 1, 2. On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese, I lost my poor meatball when somebody sneezed. Now change your pattern. It rolled off the table and onto a floor, and then my poor meatball rolled right out the door. Change your pattern. It rolled down the gutter spaghetti, all covered with cheese. Hang on to your meatballs and don't ever sneeze. Okay. All right, so we got a chance to play all 4 chords. We got a chance to play a couple of different songs, really focusing in on your right hand. When you go to the local strum along, there's going to be a lot of people. It's super fun. You should go. Yeah, absolutely, that's where I got started too. You should go for a few months, and then you'll find out it's always the same, which is the good part about it, right? But you'll mostly see this strumming pattern, right? And if you did that particular song, on top of spaghetti, all covered in cheese. Right, this is what you would see, and that's perfectly fine. It's super fun, super really cool way to do it. But you want to be have more tools, and that really comes down to your right hand structures. And so make sure you're working on those every single time you do play the ukulele. Do some strums, do some plucks, do some arpeggios, do some just be creative as possible over on your right hand. In the beginning, it usually sound kind of clunky and weird, but as you get more comfortable with it, you'll be like, yeah, that's what I do. I almost never strum my ukulele anymore. Almost never. I do in class. That's where I do it. All right. Next week, we dig into, I spend a week doing sort of technical stuff to get you ready for chord melody. So don't miss next week when we're going to cover some of the more esoteric parts of playing ukulele. All right, let's go grab our book 2 stuff. I would like to start with Molly Malone. And guys, if you have any one of these in particular you definitely want to get to, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pick the ones I want to play and you'll play along. Grab Molly Malone, the baritone version first, please. And we're going to sing about poor Molly. She doesn't make it to the end of the song. And we'll probably do a lot with, not necessarily with all the repeats, right? So let's do Molly Malone, baritone. Where'd she go? And let's just do one time through. This is a nice warm-up for us. From the top, D chord. Okay. Ukulele, you know your D chord. 1, 2. Second ending. Isn't that lovely? That's really lovely. Let's try it on ukulele, see how that sounds. Supposed to play that song 3 times through. And if you only do it one time, Molly's doing great, right? She's doing great on that first. Oh, is this goofed up? It's close enough. Yeah, Molly's doing great in the beginning of the song. She's making a living selling cockles and mussels. Live ones, right? They're not just any of them. All right, let's grab... tunes. G, C, E, A. Hey, Carol. Yeah, it's sunny. It's pretty sunny out here today too. We're cold in Denver today, and the temperature dropped quite a bit over the over the evening. Molly Malone, one time through. Make it this is the first shot, best shot. Obviously, the hardest part of this song is getting your E minor on and your pinky up on 5. Really, really pretty challenging. And that's a cool. So listen to that cool sound. Why is that so cool? You got an E minor chord, and which is this. The problem with E minor on ukulele is you end on B. If you put your pinky up on 5, now that last note you hit is an E note. And this is beautiful. Okay, and let's see how pretty we can make this. 1, 2. Do the first ending. We'll do it again. Back to the top. Second ending. There we go. Huh? How about that? Poor Molly. She doesn't make it through to the end of the song. Let's go grab. You guys aren't letting me know if you have anything in particular, so we'll just play which ones I want to play. Let's go do "Parting Glass." That's from Tuesday. This was the song that ruined my week, by the way. I had a composer's project due on today, and so I was all week been working on it, trying to make sure it meets the criterion of the class, blah blah blah. You know how school works, and all week long I'm trying to make an original song, and all week long in my head, "Parting Glass" is going on through it the entire time. And I'm like, you can't do that song because somebody already wrote that song. And so this is a real earworm for me. Once I play it, it'll be 3 or 4 days before it's out of my head. Let's see how we do. "Parting Glass," ukulele style. Rita made it in 84 and sunny. Rita's winning today. All right. From the top, 3 beats count in. And let's do it 2 times through. 1, 2, 3. can't believe it. So I get to the end of the line and I'm like, well, I'll just go to the next line instead of turning the page. Let's turn the page. From measure, pick up to measure 9. The first note is a 3. Ready and play. Let's go to the let's start at, where is my foot pedal anyway? Here it is. Here's the let's start over. Gary likes this song, and Gary would like to not be crummy at it. Parting glass, ukulele style, from the beginning. Pretend that none of that stuff just happened. 1, 2, 3. Top. Second ending. All right, barely survived that one. I feel like with that song, it's pretty fast overall, but it starts off slow and it can lull you into a deceptive sense that, oh, I got this, when you don't really have it. Let's just do one time through on baritone. Baritone players, you got your work cut out for us. Ukulele players, hopefully you've already gone through and marked all your chords here. Most of them you know. All right, let's give it a try. From the top, just one time through. Unless I play it terrible. Then it's 7 times through. 1, 2, 3. All right, I messed up the ending. You know the idea. You got the idea. You were probably finished way before I was. You have it. I have more notes than you have. All right, there we go. Lynn made it in. Hey, Lynn. How much time we got left? We got 12 minutes. Let's go to what's next on the list. That would be helpful to know. Shula Rune. Let's do Shula Rune. And let's do the baritone one first. Done. Shula Rune baritone. All right. Play down to measure 7, come back to the top, and then we'll play to the bottom. And so just skip 15 and 16 and 17. Okay. We'll just do it one time through. Supposed to do it sort of 4 times through, but really it's twice through, top to bottom. We're going to do it twice on the top, once on the bottom. How about that? Okay. Really, really pretty, really slow. Take your time. 1, 2, 3. I don't know which one of you guys told me to do that song, but I love it. I don't know. Just really, I think that I'm probably playing it too fast. Honestly, I think that you would be better off with that thing even slower. I don't even know what it's about. I don't think. Do I know what it's about? I guess the second verse is, I dye my petticoats, I dye them red. Oh, it's about, poor girl, she got to go out and earn a living, it sounds like. Dyeing your petticoats red is never a good sign. That's never good. Grab the Celtic, you grab the Celtic version instead of the Indonesian version. All right, Lynn made it in. Did I say hi to you, Lynn? Hopefully. Here we go. Shula Rune. Let's play it a little bit slower, just exactly the same way. 2 times on top, 1 time on the bottom. A little bit slower. 1, 2, 3. top. Second ending. Page 2. Second ending, last ending. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? I don't know. Again, whichever one of you knew about that song and said, we should do this song. And I said, I never heard that song. I don't know if we're going to do it at all. And then I said, all right, fine, we'll type it up. And whoever you were, you deserve a gold star. You get extra credit. Vic says, I'm glad we have it. I am too. All right, good job. Good job, people. That was a crowdsourced piece of music. All right, let's see. Next on the list of the hits, we have 5 minutes. We got Whiskey in the Jar. And then we will have done them all, right? Did we do them all? Yeah, we did them all. All right. I don't know if we'll get the baritone version of this one in or not. Whiskey in the Jar. Let's get it done. All the way down the W's. Whiskey in the Jar. Baritone, ukulele, done. Ukulele. There we go. All right, Whiskey in the Jar, ukulele. 2 times through. Get your Ray Dumadoo Damadas in, and of course, if you're singing this, if you are with your friends and you're having whiskey, you don't play the tough uke, right? You know that, right? You play the chords and you sing at the top of your lungs. And as I was going over, right? That's how you sing. That's how you do this one. Give yourself, every now and then, give yourself permission. Make sure everybody's out of the house. Close the door. Pull down the blinds, and then sing something at the top of your lungs, and just, go old school on your ukulele and just pound out those chords. It can be quite rewarding, and you don't have to know how to sing. That's the good news, right? Because nobody's judging. All right. 4 beat count in, and then we're going to hit that 0 a little bit before we get back around to measure 1. 1. Oh, and by the way, nice and slow when you're playing tough uke, as if it's a funeral dirge. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Go to the right line for measure of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the top. There we go. Just lovely. Do you have time? Let's do it. Let's do the baritone version real quick. That'll give you a chance to knock out some chords. Let's do it. Ukulele players: A, F sharp minor, D, E7. These are our chords. Okay, these are the exact chords from this little book. Remember this little book? Okay, you guys did it before. Exact same chords. Okay. Dice and steady beat. That's what we want. Okay? And I'll try to play it with a steady beat. 2 times through on baritone. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. There's a good week of Irish tunes for you. Next week I don't remember what I'm going to post up there, but it'll be something off of book 2. And we'll be just rotating book 2 forever, right? And so every now and then we'll come up with a few songs to add to book 2. But for the most part, most of the energy is going into book 3 right now. And those will be, you'll have them during the week, and then they disappear onto the members page. So one, keep showing up, obviously. That's the best way to get better at playing. And then this other reason to do what we're doing is book 1 is for those, almost all you guys are professional level now, so you could teach this stuff. Book 2, and some of you are brand new, right? And you're going to be learning how to play. Book 2 is just to get you comfy, right? Just getting continually playing great songs, and nice and smooth. And then book 3 is for those of you who are wacko. We play hard stuff in book 3, which then subsequently gets even harder when we move it over to book 4. So I don't know. Why do we do this? I don't know. It's too hard. The good news is, if you're a musician, you're never lonely and you're never bored. You're always behind. You're in a permanent state of not being good enough, and that's a pretty comfy place to be for me. Book 3. Let's go get it. Today, let's just play through the greeting piece. What was it called? Morning Mood. Let's go grab Morning Mood and see how it feels. See if it puts us in a mood or not. It's the afternoon here, so probably not the right time to play this. Morning Mood, please. LMN. Where are you? We have too many M songs. Morning Mood. Okay, done. Book 3. Morning Mood. Ukulele. All right, we talked about earlier this week or last week or every week. I don't know. We've talked about it at some point in the past. Don't play this song any faster than you're going to be able to pull off measures 30 and 31. Those are really, 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 really challenging moments in the song. And so even though I have managed to get them the fingering where you grab your shape. Right, even though I've gotten the fingering where it's pretty straightforward, it's still, when you get to 31, right, it's deceptively, it looks relatively straightforward on the paper, and it's super hard to do. So let's see. Lynn is waving hand, and then there was another person who Lynn says, I requested Shula Rune. All right, so Lynn gets a gold star. Let's see, Diane. Hey, Diane, welcome to see. And Sandy's in. Good afternoon. All right, guys. Morning mood, not fast. 1, 2. And then you can take a breath. Hey, Amy, welcome in. Heck, 28 is a challenge. Lynn's like, measure 28. You remember this one in the Torrega piece? Right, that's this piece. I think what's true when you're a classical composer, you're like, I'm going to make this really beautiful song. It's all going to work out great, except for 4 measures, and those 4 measures are going to be impossible to play. Amy is sliding in late. She says, "We discovered earlier that you can't be late, right? It's impossible. You're just living in a different timeline. You're always on time. You're always on time." That's it. That's what I know about Morning Mood. Let's play the baritone version. See how that goes. I think the key with 28 is, and it's absolutely true of all fretted instruments. As you get to these higher levels of play, when you first are getting started, we say, there's a C chord, it's very comfortable. Here's an F chord, pretty comfortable. Then along comes, here's B flat, a little bit less comfortable, not particularly comfortable. And then you say, oh, and what about D minor? Oh, that's not comfortable, right? And then when we get to this one, you've got, you're doing a B flat up on 7. Now I didn't give you anything on the top string because we don't need it. And the key here is to squish your ring finger underneath here and then add your pinky. And so, yeah, it's this more advanced material, even though, gosh, this is sort of an easier song on piano. It's none of that stuff's going to be easy on ukulele because we're cramming both hands into this little space. You're going to end up with things that feel a little bit cramped. Right, I think that's probably one of the things that's a mess there, and I agree. I got lucky today. I played it cleanly both times. But if you watch, and I do recommend it, your instrument's ukulele, so obviously you spend most of your time thinking about ukulele, but it's never time wasted just to go watch some of these classical guitar players. And you don't need to listen to all this super modern, creepy, clunky, weird stuff. You can go listen to all the old fashioned tunes, the old Spanish masters, and they're going along and just playing, and then all of a sudden you can tell there's just this weird wanky little section that they got to move their fingers all weird, it's probably good experience to just go watch some well recorded guitar and watch what they're doing with their left hand. One of the things is different from in classical music that we do in fingerstyle. In fingerstyle, we're very focused in around the chord shapes because that gets us most of our positioning. But in classical style, you have a tendency to do a whole bunch more stuff that doesn't look like a chord. There are chords under it, of course, but it doesn't really look like that. And what you're doing is in some ways a little more difficult. You've got a lot more fingers to place than oftentimes you have to do on classical guitar. And part of the reason is you have a lot fewer notes, so we got to take advantage of everything you got. Let's see. Yep, Nancy, you're in a different time zone. It's again, definitely, you're in Florida. It's impossible for you to be on the same time zone as the rest of the world, as far as the news says. All right, here we go. Things are a little different in Florida. They like it that way. From the top, on baritone, ukulele. These are your chords, right? Make me sound good. Okay, 1, 2. go. Morning mood. That one wouldn't be at all a waste of time to spend a little bit of time getting better at. That's a fun song. All right, now let's go grab this other song. What was the name of the other song? Blue Danube. Jeez Louise. There's too many things going, guys. I can't remember everything. I can't remember anything, probably, is the better way to think about that. Blue Danube. Let's do the baritone one first, since it's in my hand. Blue Danube Waltz baritone. And I got an interesting email from Rita, actually, yesterday, and she says, hey, Gary, I really think that you need to spend a little bit more time going over how you create these arrangements. And she's absolutely right, because we would love it if we sat down. Yay! Linda said she made a nice duet with me. Oftentimes, when I'm playing classical, I'm trying like heck to be exactly strict on timing, and probably helps you guys a lot as you're trying to play along with me with chords. I'm trying to keep it really, really clean. It's super hard to do when you're by yourself. If we were sitting in the room together, we'd sound even better. But thanks for making me sound great, Linda. We would love it if we picked out a song and we typed in the melody and we typed on the chords, and then we started dropping in chords underneath it, that it always worked out clean and perfect. And on easier folk tunes, it will. For the most part, you take any sort of any folk tune that you've heard that's been around a while. You're going to see the melody, the chords will drop in right underneath it. It absolutely works almost perfectly every time. Sometimes they start to go up the neck on our instrument because, obviously we're only dealing with an octave and a half of decent tones here. And so when they start to go up the neck, then sometimes you have a little bit of a challenge about figuring what chord shapes to add on there. The problem, of course, is that as you get into more interesting music, and not that folk music isn't interesting. Please don't get the message. That's all I would do if I had the choice. I love it that much. But we like sometimes to make a bigger challenge. And as things start to move around on a more complicated piece like this, you end up having to make decisions, okay? And so really where the decisions happened here, and I'm sure this is what prompted Rita's email, is when you get over to 26, 27, 28, it doesn't make any sense anymore when you're playing the melody, and it seems like it should, right? Right, I'm already feeling like something doesn't seem right. So it gets really messy. Things are moving around a whole bunch, and this will happen a lot in more advanced music. It happens all the time in jazz. Basically every measure it happens in jazz. In classical music, when they get to these moments, even in morning mood, there's that one diminished chord in there. And you're like, what is that doing here? It doesn't, I hate that chord. And so you'll end up with those moments. Here's what I will tell you that I do when there's things that don't make sense. So if I get to a place like that, it's just not sounding right as I'm working on it. The first thing I do is I go and make sure my melody works. So I go through and I make sure the melody is going to make sense. And if you look at what I did in the tough fugue, it makes a lot more sense. And then nothing. That makes sense. And then look what I did. So I got rid of a whole bunch of weird notes that weren't serving me. Then once I get where the melody makes sense, then I go back through and I start deciding which chords I really want to have and which ones don't. I can tell you I would desperately love to have a chord underneath this C note, a C chord underneath this high E note. Okay, but it's going to be harder to play. Right, it's going to be super unpleasant probably to get to it. Probably going to have to put a bar on here. Right. And it's more work than it's worth, because what really matters is that. And so sometimes I'll drop the chord down, sometimes I won't. But as an arranger, when you get into a pickle a little bit, go back and make sure the melody is what you want it to be. And then you start sort of noodling around, picking up, can I play the chord? Is it going to help? Is it not going to help? Is it okay just to run some melody through that section? And it's perfectly fine. I think if you look through page 1, basically 100% of this is exactly what I suggest. Write the melody down, drop the chord in underneath it. I tend to, as you guys know, to put a chord on beats 1 and 3. On a waltz like this, it would be on beat 1. So pretty much you're going to see chords on beat 1. But this song's a little bit unique because it carries all of the bump, 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 bump. It goes right over the top of the measure. And so you want to pay homage to that bump, 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 bump kind of feeling. Hey, Kat, welcome in. Everybody keeps saying the same thing. Sorry I'm late. So there's not a one-off answer. Be creative and let yourself know that you as an artist get to make those decisions. Big difference between a transcriber and an arranger. A transcriber takes the original piece of sheet music and tries in every possible way to make it exactly the same. So when you go on the internet and you say, oh, I'd like to play the Beatles, or YMCA is the perfect example. I want to go play YMCA. And you get the sheet music and it's an F sharp. Who plays an F sharp? Nobody plays an F sharp. F sharp is on the bottom of the circle of fifths. Nobody plays down there. Nobody. Advanced piano players use that key. Nobody uses that. What they did is they stuck a capo on a guitar and played it in E. But you're stuck with F sharp as the key on that piece of music. That's because the transcriber has transcribed exactly what's going on with that piece of music. He doesn't necessarily make a note that there's a capo on it. Some of the modern rock arrangements will tell you, hey, play it like this, but just make sure you put a capo on whatever. And so just know that transcribing is different than what I'm wanting you guys to do. I want you to be arrangers. Take the melody, take the chords, and then use your creativity to make the best possible sound that you can make at your level of play. And what you'll find is, at least at your level, as you're newer at arranging, you'll end up feeling like you need to transcribe. But the longer you are into it, you're like, oh, Eric Clapton comes in early there. I'm not coming in early there. It'll sound weird. I'm going to go ahead and come in on the beat, right? And you just fix it. And so a lot of the stuff you get from me, most of it is transcribing. But when you get into more complicated stuff, you have to make artistic choices, and especially with our instrument where we have a very limited key palette. I'm not saying limited is a bad thing. I am saying we do have a limited key palette. It's just a thing, and so we have to very often think creatively about what are we going to do here. You'll see on this one, everything makes sense. Clear up until about 22, 23, it starts to get a little dicey, right? Because we got to go way up the neck. And then of course that section across the top of page 2, none of that really makes sense from a chord melody perspective. So you have to start making artistic choices about that. So I'll try to talk about that a little bit more as we go forward, about when I do something that's weird on a piece of sheet music. And why I would do stuff like that. Always, it's to make it a little easier to play or sound a little better. One of those two things is going to happen. And most of the time it's a mixture of the two. All right, Blue Danube Waltz on baritone. Guys on ukulele, give me 3 beats per measure. Okay, 1, 2. 4 beats, then go. To the top. Go. Second ending. Isn't that fun? Everything's going great till you get to the 8s and 10s, and then you're like, oh, I hate 8s and 10s. All right. Don't hate 8s and 10s, Gary. 8s and 10s are your friend. All right. Ukulele version. Here we go. Channel 2001: A Space Odyssey. My favorite movie. From the top. 1, 2. Go. To the top. Go. Second ending. Oh, I love that song. All right, so there we go. That's all I know about classical music. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Next week, more of the same. I'm not sure which we're going to play on book 2, and I definitely haven't gotten anything arranged for book 3 yet. So, and I have to arrange at least 3 songs for the orchestra on Monday. So I'll be busy. I will be busy writing sheet music all weekend, and I will see all y'all on Tuesday at the very least. Hopefully, all of you guys are coming to orchestra on Monday nights. It's the greatest thing ever. You will get stronger. You will get better looking. You will live longer. You will end up being way more popular if you come to Monday night. So put that on your to-do calendar and come join us for orchestra. And I think that's what I need to tell you about. It appears that we have 430 songs on the website. You should be able to stay busy. And I will see all y'all next week. And be good. Stay happy. It's the end of the summer, guys. So hopefully you can get out and enjoy the environment. We're able to breathe here in Denver again. It's very exciting. So thank you, guys. I can't see everybody. Laurel, Rita, Lynn, Diane, Sandy, Amy, Kat, Linda, Elizabeth is here. Do you know which 3 you're doing next? I don't, Elizabeth. I don't. I haven't even pulled them up yet. I've got all of them partially arranged, all of them. I always look for which is the lowest hanging fruit, but I'm pretty sure Girl from Ipanema is on that list. Pretty sure Love Beyond Rose is about ready to go, and I can't remember what the third one is, but I've got all of them in various states of being completed. So good to see Elizabeth, by the way, and I like I say, I'll get those things posted as quickly as possible. Robin, thanks for being here. Yeah, Uke Orchestra is awesome, isn't it? You're welcome, Nancy. Very sweet. See you next week. You guys keep rocking it. Peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.